So the table is now created. Okay, so it is personal one. I have renamed it. Okay, so it is available here, and its structure you can able to view. Okay, and okay, so this is how the structure you have created. If you want to insert any values inside this particular table, then you have to feed the values. For example, if you want to create one record set, for example, the name is John. Okay, and John and age column, okay, I'm giving, okay, the age is 20 and click go. From the back end also we can do insertion, okay, and this record set is going to be in, okay, this value is in, okay, record set is created. Now we can see this. Same way again, if you want to do an insertion, okay, another record set, okay, for example, Joe, and values, okay, 30, the age is 30, okay, so like, oh, sorry, this is for name, right? Name is Joe and age is 30, and click go. So the second record set is two rows are inserted. Okay, now you can see. So any modification if you want to do, okay, you can do edit and all other things you can do. So this is how you have to work in the backend. First you have to create the user. Second you have to create the database. Third step you have to create the table, and the fourth step you can start inserting the values. From the backend we can do it directly. Okay, so through a PHP program, for example, like text boxes are there, and through that you are reading input and storing it in a variable and passing through the query. How this is going to happen, we are going to see through some of the example programs. Okay, so let me revise the steps once again. Like first step, we have to download and install the exam server and find out the hdocs directory, and here you have to store all the PHP file, and you start running the server Apache and MySQL, Apache for PHP and MySQL for database, and write a sample program, and check in the and store keep the sample program inside the docs htdocs file. Okay, and then hdocs directory and run the file using localhost colon. Check the port where you are connected through port number 81. So the same port number you have to give it here. And once it is done, you should go for the next step for creating the user account. After adding the details, okay, give the privileges, then create the database, mention the database name, and after that create the table. Okay, mention the table name and number of columns and describe the columns, and it's okay, then you can view the structure of the table, and this is how to perform insertion from the backend also we have seen. Okay, now the basic queries, if you know any other queries, okay, just in a button click you can call these functions. Okay, so the first step is you have to mention the server name. So the server is available in the local host. What is the username? That is Kevin we have created. Kevin123 was the password. And the database name is details. So this is how these four parameters as per your server details you please modify. What is the username? What is the password? What's the database name? Whether it is available in the local host or the remote host means you mention the IP address, and pass all those things as an argument to the MySQL for establishing the connection object. Assign these parameters and check whether the connection is exist or not. Okay, so it establishes a connection once it is available. Okay, the server is available, the user account is available. Okay, connection will be executed properly. And then you can perform any kind of operations with the help of insert query. For example, now insert into table name. Any queries you can write and store it in an object. And then you start executing this object. If it is done, okay, we'll receive the message it is done. And if it is not done, okay, what is the connection error that will be displayed. This is how basic any insertion operation you can perform with the help of this small program, and you can modify it. If you want to perform a select, a view or display and then print it, okay, so the same step, okay, you have to check the connection. Only thing is you have to change the query and then execute the query. And suppose the query returns more records, okay, then the result of this is going to be more number of rows will be there. When it is greater than 0, okay, that means more number of records set, fetch one by one column and this is for printing part. So we are manually printing name, age, these as a label, but it fetches for each and every record set one by one row and column. It fetches the corresponding values from the database. So from the front end, we can able to view the backend details. So this is how you can view. And the next one is update operation. Any update query, if you want to execute, you can change the query name object. If you want to perform delete operation, change the query object. Okay, change the query and store it in a different object. So this is how when you write a small PHP program or inside the same program, one operation followed by another operation, you can able to perform any type of SQL queries. You can execute over the MySQL server. Okay. So this is how you can perform. So for your experiment, you can create any interface, any text boxes, buttons. On a button click, you can call these functions. It will be executed, and you can receive the message in a text box or in the same page or in a pop-up message. You can do it. Thank you.